2024-25 is over and Arsenal on the move. In what needs to be a gargantuan summer transfer window, Andrea Berta has a plan that he's trying to execute. So today we'll break down Arsenal's season finale, as well as getting the latest on João Garcia. We'll find out what's happening with Rodrigo, reveal the intriguing numbers behind Šeško and Gyokeres, as well as talking about a brand new wide forward target. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Basketball T and welcome back to your boys channel. And 2024-25 is over. Transfers FC is back as Arsenal approach a gargantuan transfer window. It is time to lock in, so as per, smash a like on this video if you do enjoy and subscribe to the channel if you are new. But starting off with Arsenal's season finale, the last game in what has been a season to forget. So much pain, anger, disappointment. For one final time in his Arsenal career, Kieran Tierney was starting. Tierney at the back, Gabby in attack. Tesco's finest dropping a man of the match performance in his last ever Arsenal appearance. A fantastic 8.2 rating, 1 goal score, 4 clearances, 1 interception, 1 tackle. Almost a reminder to Arsenal fans of what could have been. Tierney for me has always been a high quality player, a fullback able to overlap, provide quality crosses. So to see him with a massive smile on his face, you can see how much it meant to him. A player that won't go down as a legend or a cult hero, but one that will always have the respect of Arsenal fans. As Mikel Arteta said, a special thank you to him. He's one with me, he's been a joy to work with, a really special character. The doors of this football club are always open to him. He is someone very, very liked at the club. On a day where Arsenal fans also give a farewell to Jorginho, it was also the first time since August 2021 where Arsenal had named a starting lineup without Gabriel Magalhaes or William Saliba, ending a run of 148 consecutive league matches. So despite conceding and only winning 2-1, David Raya shares the Golden Glove alongside Matt Sels, becoming the first Arsenal goalkeeper in Premier League history to win back-to-back Golden Glove awards. You then look at the numbers and you'll notice straight away that Raya totally deserves this. From being one of the top sweeper keepers in all of Europe, look at the top right and Raya's name stands out. Even in terms of shot stopping and crosses claim, Raya is up there as one of the very best. What we are seeing now is a player that is stacking up the awards. From last year's Golden Glove to Euro 2024, PFA Team of the Year in his first ever Arsenal season, as well as multiple saves of the month. In a team that has been very inconsistent, Raya has been the opposite, turning up week in week out with massive saves. Arsenal have undoubtedly got one of the best goalkeepers in the world. So thinking towards the future and a summer transfer window, what is happening with Arsenal target João Garcia? Well, after Espanyol escaped relegation, Garcia's release clause remains at £21 million. To have then not been called up to the Spanish national team instead of David Raya, his release clause will not rise from 21 to 25. A price tag for a goalkeeper that many will see as a bargain. The elite goalkeeper in La Liga this season in terms of all the numbers. Still so young with so much potential, there's a reason why Mikel Arteta has always liked him. But a transfer race that is far from simple. The likes of Man City and Barcelona are both after it, as Fabrizio Romano confirms himself. Barca are among several clubs keen on signing João Garcia after his excellent season at Espanyol. Premier League and Bundesliga clubs are also in the race, but it looks like the player is looking for a challenge outside of Spain. According to the reliable Mateo Moretto, João Garcia is not keen on joining Barcelona because the goalkeeper prefers the Premier League. But with the reports claiming that Andrea Berta isn't as keen on signing the player, nothing to do with the player's quality, but more to do with Arsenal's summer allocation. Yes, Arsenal do need a backup goalkeeper, but when you've got a world-class first choice like David Raya, Berta sees the striker and the midfield department as the far bigger priorities. So in a game where Arsenal started Ethan Nwaneri as a number 10, in what was an exciting performance and experiment that so many wanted to see. A 7.4 rating in 75 minutes played, 90% of passes completed, 4 chances created and 5 of 7 dribbles. One of the best ball carriers in the entire Arsenal squad. Nwaneri's trademark feature in the final third is how the ball gets glued to his feet. Comfortable in tight spaces and playing centrally. As Arsenal fans cry out for a Maverick, Nwaneri's profile stands out massively. Yes, I do believe he can improve physically. In a league that can be so brutal down the middle, if Nwaneri is to be the long-term Arsenal number 10, the glimpses may be there, but understandably at 18 years of age there is still a lot of room to grow. So after the Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard came off the bench and scored a fantastic goal, 15 minutes played, a 7.5 rating with 13 passes completed. He ends the year with 6 goals and 12 assists in all competitions. 18 goals and assists in total, 12 that have come in 2025. In the last few games I've definitely seen Odegaard grow once again. Whether it's a lack of pressure or once again recovering to his physical state. To watch him score this goal where he was riding the contact, getting into the middle and firing off a fantastic shot. It was definitely a reminder of what Odegaard can be when he is in form. With confidence also being a major factor, something that fans often do forget. This was a clean ball strike, it was a fantastic goal. Now the pressure builds towards 2025-26, in what many see is a do or die year for Martin Odegaard, with Zubimendi arriving alongside Declan Rice. The build-up responsibility will no longer be on the Arsenal captain, so playing as a number 10 higher up the pitch, Odegaard will need to improve on his 3 Premier League goals this season, with still massive room for optimism, with reason for Arsenal fans to not be giving up. Looking into this year's Premier League expected threat per zone, Odegaard still ranks in the top 2 for centrally and on the right half space, showing that the quality can still be there and he can be threatening. This is going to be a major year for Arsenal. Arsenal are going to need an elite number 10 next season, high levels of goal and assist numbers, a player to make a difference in those massive games. So when you've got Martin Odegaard and you've got Ethan Nwaneri, we have to also talk about Max Dowman, currently with the England under-17 team as they are playing at the Euros. After a fantastic first few appearances, Dowman has scored yet another wonder goal. In a must-win game for England, bursting past players on the side, fantastic agile dribbling, placing it into the back of the net on a tight angle. We are seeing a player who might still be 15 but he dribbles like he's 25. Able to ride contact and burst past players with power. Sometimes I do see a player that can be selfish, but when you have the ability to burst past player after player, Dowman naturally has a high level of confidence. In a game that he also showed his fantastic passing range, dropping deeper and playing a lovely pass in behind to assist the second England goal. The signs are there of a scary potential talent, one that reports have confirmed will be a part of the Arsenal pre-season. No, I don't think he'll be a starter next season, but if he can impress on our tour of Asia, Max Dowman's opportunity is definitely coming. But as Arsenal ended 2024-25 with a victory, they confirmed a 3rd consecutive 2nd place finish. 74 points, 10 points behind 1st place Liverpool, 3 points ahead of Man City in 3rd, 5 ahead of Chelsea in 4th. And we won't even talk about Man United or Tottenham, with Arsenal being one of 6 English teams to qualify for the Champions League next season, while other teams spent £1.5 billion and only scraped it. For all the negativity around Arsenal this season, the fact that our floor has still been 2nd, for a team that we know can definitely improve and has been nowhere near their best, losing key players at pivotal moments, for the floor to still be Champions League football and 2nd, to me shows there is something to build upon. When you then look at the numbers compared to the last 2 seasons, there is no denying a clear drop off in the Arsenal attack, with last year's attack being a peak in the project. This year we have definitely stagnated, scoring only 69 goals, the 3rd highest tally in the league, only slightly ahead of Tottenham Hotspur who are 17th. Arsenal also do not have a single player that scored 10 league goals, the first time that Arsenal finished a campaign without 10 goals or more since 1923-24. There's no denying that injuries to Havertz and Saka definitely played a part, but were the last 5 teams to have won the Premier League, being the highest goal scoring teams. The goal for next year is simple: score more goals and try to reach 100, become the best attack in the Premier League. Because yes, finishing 2nd 3 times in a row is painful, but in Arsenal's history, the last time that happened, on the 4th occasion Arsenal won the double. Stats that will mean nothing unless Arsenal act this summer, with our number 7 Bukayo Saka putting out a statement, saying we all know the mission, we are working towards achieving things this club hasn't seen in a while, and our time will come. Reminiscent of his post back in 2020 when Arsenal were all the way down in 16th, saying that Arsenal fans deserve better, and he then delivered. Summer 2025 is set to be gargantuan, after Liverpool won their 20th league title, despite losing Trent Alexander-Arnold, with the arrival of Jeremy Frimpong and now potentially Florian Wirtz, who has confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, Liverpool have made their first official bid in excess of €100 million. The competition is not waiting, so Arsenal can't even. So when Mikel Arteta was asked on when his mind turns to next season, Arteta says now immediately 100%. Tomorrow we have certain things that we are discussing and making decisions. When I start to think about next season, I feel goosebumps and excitement. So moving on to Arsenal's defining summer, with one clear mission of juicing up the Arsenal attack, as the Arsenal Josh Kroenke was seen in Lisbon, celebrating alongside Arsenal legend Ian Wright, as the Arsenal women did their job and became champions of Europe, beating 3-time winners Barcelona in the final 1-0. It was an historic day with so many beautiful stories, especially in terms of Arsenal captain Leah Williamson, where in the 2007 final she was a mascot. In 2025 she was the winning captain, as Arsenal won their 2nd ever Women's Champions League, still the only English club to do so. Seeing the scenes outside the Emirates Stadium with 10,000 Arsenal fans so happy, it makes you wonder what could have happened if Arsenal had won the Premier League or had got to a Champions League final. The women have done their job, the manager has delivered. Now it's time for the men, and Mikel Arteta has also to do so as well. So on the final day of the Premier League, when Newcastle lost 1-0 to Everton at home, as United beat Villa 2-0, Aston Villa secured Champions League football, despite dropping points in 4 of the last 5 games. Because of how far Arsenal went in their Champions League campaign, the Premier League was given 5 Champions League places, giving Newcastle their place in next year's competition. So as David Ornstein now confirms, Arsenal will not sign Alexander Isak this summer, and any possibility has been removed after Newcastle secured Champions League football. The unrealistic dream has now become impossible, and maybe, just maybe, Arsenal can use that to their advantage. For as great as Alexander Isak was this season, 23 league goals, the third highest Premier League goal scorer, spending over £100 million on a striker when you also need a wide forward as well, should allow Arsenal to now go and sign 2 forwards instead. So as Unai Emery's Aston Villa missed out on the Champions League, there are some reports the players could be available coming out of Villa Park. Some Arsenal fans discussing a move for Ollie Watkins. The player that stands out to me though is Morgan Rogers, a star player for Villa this season, a fantastic ball carrier. If down to PSR Villa do have to sell players, I wonder if Arsenal will go looking for opportunities coming out of Villa Park. But in terms of the brand new striker, of course there are 2 names on every Arsenal fan's lips, Benjamin Sesko and Victor Gyokeres. Now according to Florian Plettenberg, Arsenal Sporting Director Andrea Berta has recently had direct contact with the RB Leipzig Managing Director to understand the structure of the potential deal for Benjamin Sesko. Mikel Arteta and the club's hierarchy are big fans of the player. With no European football and a verbal agreement with RB Leipzig, Sesko is set to leave this summer, a player that has scored goals against some massive teams this season. 21 goals in all competitions at still 21 years of age. He's not quite Gyokeres in terms of the elite insane numbers, but when you look into the deeper numbers of this graphic here, when it comes to the amount of touches taken inside the box before taking a shot, Sesko is one of the best players in all of Europe. So with all the talk that Mikel Arteta gives about Arsenal improving their box efficiency, when you've got a player the physical profile of Sesko 6'5" with an insane vertical leap, the whole idea for Arsenal next year is to become more efficient. When you then look at the graphic once again and compare Sesko to Victor Gyokeres, Gyokeres takes more shots and takes more touches, while Sesko is a far more one-touch shooter. According to David Ornstein though, Arsenal have got a decision to make between Sesko and Gyokeres. Both are fantastic options and talents, and I do expect one of them to quite possibly come to the Emirates Stadium this summer. So with Victor Gyokeres on the score sheet for one final time this season, scoring a clutch penalty in the Portuguese League Cup final, an 8.0 rating with 1 goal scored, 2 out of 5 dribbles. He now ends the year with 63 goals for club and country, with an insane 76 total goal involvements in all competitions. Do you pass up the opportunity to sign a player that has contributed nearly 80 goals in one single campaign? With Gyokeres having now scored 97 goals and got 27 assists, over 102 games for Sporting Lisbon, firing them to back-to-back Portuguese league titles. The numbers are undeniable and the price tag is very good. As confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, Gyokeres has played his final game for Sporting. He will leave the club this summer for a transfer fee around €65 million. When asked about his future after the final, Gyokeres says it's impossible to say, we never know what happens in football. In terms of the Arsenal links, I don't know anything. My focus is on this game. If the links were true, then we will see this summer. I do believe that in the next few weeks we will get a lot more clarity. Who Arsenal choose to go for and what offers they will make. In terms of director Andrea Berta, he is also making moves elsewhere though. According to Santiago Una, Andrea Berta has had a phone call with Rafael Leao, with the winger on Berta's shortlist for now. He is not the first target for Arsenal in the winger position. A wide forward 25 years of age that once upon a time would have been a dream Arsenal target. In a year that he got 12 goals and 13 assists in 50 appearances in all competitions. A left forward that excels in providing game-breaking moments. Leao in terms of the physical profile is definitely insane, with a burst of power going forwards that can definitely change games. If we're talking raw quality and the potential of a maverick, Rafael Leao ticks every single box emphatically. So despite having 3 years left on his AC Milan contract, having finished all the way down in 8th with no European football, there are reports that Leao will leave Milan this summer, with the likes of Arsenal and Bayern reportedly interested. He definitely isn't the typical Mikel Arteta type of wide forward, a player that can be insane going forwards. But having seen the change in Mo Salah this season, a forward who had a conversation with Arne Slot before the season started, with less defensive responsibility and more emphasis going forwards. For as great as the defence can be, to become the elite team in Europe and in the Premier League, we have to now focus on making our attack the very best. When you've got the level of defenders that Arsenal do have in the 1v1 quality, trust them a bit more that they can do their job. Gone of the days of Rob Holding and Cedric Suarez, Arsenal have elite defenders that can do their job on their own, and they don't need the forwards to hold their hands. But in terms of our other targets in Rodrigo, according to Florian Plettenberg, a move for Arsenal is proven to be very complicated. There have been new talks in recent hours. The biggest issue though is his wage demands, reportedly around €10 million net per season. Arsenal are not prepared to go that far, but Rodrigo is willing to leave Real Madrid if the right offer does come in, with more reports in Spain confirming. The reality of Rodrigo is he currently has no offers on the table, and his contract with Real Madrid runs until 2028. Arsenal's interest is real, as is that of other teams in the Premier League, but any move is a long way off. It's a sacrifice that Arsenal have to make. If you want the best forwards in world football, you have to pay the wages and you can't be cheaping out. So when you've got Josh Kroenke confirming that Arsenal will invest this summer, you've even had Mikel Arteta talk about the fact that if Arsenal want to be the best team in Europe, we need to have the best players. So with many Arsenal fans demanding this front three going into next season, having just seen our women's team win a Champions League, we have seen the beautiful scenes, we have seen the impact that it can have. Next year, my friends, I want to be the Emirates come the end of the season. Not talking about phase 6 or where else to go next. I want to be celebrating a major honour. So for Mikel Arteta and Andrea Berta this summer, they will have massive decisions to make. They will need to be the right ones. So let me know your thoughts on this front three going into next season. Do you think there will be enough firepower to guide Arsenal towards winning a major honour? That is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like on this video and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, the links are down below in the description. But that was all of your latest Arsenal news today as Arsenal end 2024-25. My friends, I want to thank you guys for your consistent support and hopefully we can have a gargantuan summer transfer window with transfers at FC back. My friends, the uploads will be here. Hopefully they'll be consistent and maybe even daily. My friends, I'll see you guys next time. Take care and in a bit.